And we're back here in Baltimore at the Star City Games Open Series. We're about to show you the finals of Standard. I'm Joey Pasco.
And I'm Jacob Van Lunen.
And here are the finals. They're already underway here.
Starts off, that's a Gitaxian probe from Jason Ford, revealing Ali Aintrazi's hand. Both players have a Stoneforge Mystic in their opening hand. Both these players, very talented. Ali Aintrazi has been a real ringer on the Star City Games tour here. And Jason Ford, well, he's a Grand Prix champion.
Okay, cool.
So
we have the deck list here in front of us.
Here. Now, this is a mirror match, but there are a few differences between the two players' decks. The first difference is that Jason Ford has a pair of Batter Skulls in his main deck, while Ali only has access to one. This is really good in the mirror match, having an extra copy of Batter Skull. This might give Jason Ford an advantage in Game 1. Another difference, however, is that Ali has 3 copies of Dismember, where Jason Ford only has 2. Now, Dismember, also very good in the mirror, so that might give Ali a slight advantage.
Yeah.
The other difference is Ali has a few copies of Into the Royal, where Jason has a main deck Lightning Bolt and a main deck Consecrated Sphinx.
Interesting the differences here. Ali lands his Batter Skull first, and Jason has his to follow up.
So far, both players seeming to stay at parity with one another.
Exactly, matching each other step for step. And it looks like Ali misses his land drop here. And
now, missing a 5th land drop can be pretty rough here.
Yeah, Sword of War and Peace off of that Stoneforge Mystic at the end of Ali's turn for Jason, and that's he's breaking parity here with that sword. So, Gitaxian Probe shows him is that Exarch Twin combo, Dispel, Spell Pierce, Jace, and something else. Was it a Myria Angel? Couldn't tell what that final card was. It was a Myria Angel.
Couldn't quite see it. Oh, it is a Myria Angel. Okay.
So he's got the combo, he's got a Dispel, he's got a Spell Pierce, so he's got some protection for the combo. Kind of a scary hand to look at for Jason Ford, but Ali can't capitalize until he hits a second red. So.
All right, now Jason's going to pop up to 22 here, and Ali's going to go up to 23.
Yeah. So Ali, unfortunately, for him, loses his germ. Jason gets to keep his just because of that extra sword. Ali flashes in a Deceiver Exarch, and it resolves. So Ali now, if he draws a red source off the top, is able to cast and protect that combo. But in fact, instead he drew, it looks like a Dismember.
Which isn't a bad card here. Now, with that Dismember, he'll be able to, if he wants to, block with Deceiver Exarch and then finish off that germ with the Dismember. Oh, but that's a much better answer to that germ.
Jace the Mind Sculptor
there we are.
Pretty well. Bounce that germ and force Jason to either bounce and replay the Batter Skull, which is an option. Jason has a Dismember for Ali's Deceiver Exarch.
We're just going to put him down to 17 here. You crack that fetch land and play 4 life.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to note how well that both these players are playing. Ali, on his turn where he initially had 4 mana, or on the second time he had access to 4 mana, he did not tap out for that Jace because Jason Ford had the mana in play to cast the Deceiver Exarch and would have been able to just untap and kill him with Splinter Twin if he had the combo in hand. But on the key turn where he was able to put Jason Ford down to just 2 untapped lands, he capitalized on the opportunity and resolved the Jace the Mind Sculptor to bounce that germ.
Yeah, it's Twin Blade versus Twin Blade here in the finals, and it's a scary proposition here when you feel like you're playing against Callblade, which is already a pretty daunting task, but having that combo as a kind of oops I win is pretty scary. So Stoneforge Mystic picks up Sword of War and Peace and beats Jace the Mind Sculptor into the graveyard.
That's interesting. I'm surprised he didn't attack Ali and then redirect the sword's trigger to Ali. to the Jace. Yeah.
It's an interesting choice there.
The preordain, Ali presumably looking for a Deceiver Exarch here.
Oh, he did. Okay, he did attack Ali and redirect the.
Oh, okay. The life totals just didn't change
for
us.
It looked like he just attacked Jace, but I think the point at Jace was redirect to Jace.
Okay.
He does hit his 5th land drop now.
And that makes this game pretty dangerous for Jason.
So both players back to their starting life totals.
Yeah, the game seems to be at parity.
So he goes to equip the Stoneforge Mystic, and Ali responds with a Dismember.
Now Jason down to just 2 lands. Ali's going to return this Batterskull to his hands. Now he can get a rebuy on it.
Yeah.
And for just 2 mana, he's going to get another 4/4 lifelink Vigilance.
He just top decks a Celestial Colonnade, so now he's got his land.
No number of tech edges which are not in Jason Ford. Jason Ford does have. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay, good.
Yeah,
that would have been
Terramorphic
miserable.
Expanse. I think both of us saw that and went, "Is that? Oh, it's not Tectonic."
Okay, good.
Yeah, so Stoneforge Mystic forges in a Batterskull for Ali. Jason just passes the turn with 2 pieces of equipment laying there on the battlefield, just hanging out. And what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 untapped lands.
And now Jason's going to drop down to 15, and Ali's going to go back up to 20 here.
Yeah, Ali goes into the red zone with his Stoneforge and Germ. Jason returns his own Batterskull and cracks his Terramorphic Expanse.
Just thinning his deck at this point. Both players have enough land to get done everything they need to, but Jason seems to be drawing more land than Ali. Ooh, but Jason has a Stoneforge Mystic, which is one of the best things he could possibly have here.
There's the Mystic from Jason.
And what do you grab here? Another Batterskull? Yeah, that seems right. Now, Jason can, if he so desires, he can tap out for a main phase Batterskull. Jason decides to go ahead and equip that Sword of War and Peace to his Stoneforge Mystic. Ali does have that Germ, though, which is very, very good at blocking things with Sword of War and Peace on them. Well, that's one of the things that's also very frustrating about playing against post-Batterskull Callblade. Regardless of how much pro-white you have or anything like that, the Batterskull just ruins your day.
It's a nice rock, paper, scissors, though, where it's like, okay, it's a Callblade mirror. My opponent got Batterskull, so I'll get Sword of Feast and Famine. You know, like, or if they get, you know, Sword of Feast and Famine, I'll get Sword of War and Peace. You know, something like that, where.
So Jason Ford drops down to 11, and Ali goes up to 24.
And a Myria Angel for Ali. Fetch land. This will give him some faux Squadron Hawks to play around with. Yep, there's a bird.
All right.
Dismember on the Stoneforge Mystic. So Jason left with just a lone sword hanging out.
So it's a Dispel on Ali's hand right now. And what's the third card in his hand?
I know it looks like he's got Twin, Dispel, and Spell Pierce. Is that what that is? I keep seeing Dispel. Is it just? Dispel Twin. He keeps flipping those two in the front.
Yeah.
You can't see what the third card is.
Can't see what the third one
I
is.
want to say it was Spell-Pierce. So, Batterskull comes down, hard cast, and picks up the Sword of War and Peace.
It's got
That's
a bunch
big
of
germ.
equipment now.
Big, scary germ.
I think Ali is thinking about casting his Into the Royal on his own Stoneforge Mystic, so that on his turn he can cast Stoneforge Mystic, search for a Sword of Feast and Famine, cast Sword of Feast and Famine, equip Sword of Feast and Famine,
Yeah, that's a lot.
then
He needs a
attack,
lot of
and
mana.
then well, he has enough to do that.
He does have
and
a
then
lot.
he can. So I think it may be an Into the Royal. That may be the card we were missing.
So he cracks his Scalding Tarn. Does not forget the Emiria Angel trigger. Gets another bird token.
And that sort of Feast and Famine will also allow him to effectively block this Batterskull forever with his own Batterskull.
Yeah.
So he does not decide to go for the Into the Royal, even if he had it. I don't know. I think it was a Spell Pierce.
He has such a dominating side of the board over there. But that germ is still pretty scary. So Emiria comes over with his friends, cracking in for 5, putting Jason to 6.
Now, he has a few different lines of attack here. When Jason attacks, he's probably going to block with the Batterskull and then return the Batterskull back to his hand so the germ dies before combat, before combat damage.
Yeah, so no life gain.
Ooh, or he drew a Deceiver Exarch, which is going to be even better.
Yeah, because we know he has the twin. Tap your germ. And Jason says instead, I'm going to scoop.
I'm going to pack this one up.
I'm not giving you the pleasure of tapping my germ after all that work of putting a sword on it and everything. So
only Aintrazi takes game
1. So we are going to give away 1 year of Star City Games Premium.
A
whole year.
Wow.
That's twice as much as the 6 months we gave away last round in the semifinals. And 4 times as much.
That's like
4 times as much
how
as we gave
long
away
I was a
last night.
freshman in high school.
That was exactly the amount of time I was a sophomore in high school. That's weird.
That's so weird. What a coincidence.
Yeah, so strange. So I have a trivia question for you guys, and what you'll do is you tweet the answer at SCG Live with the hashtag SCG Premium. Include the answer to the question and
your username
on Star City Games. So that way we can just put the
premium onto your Star City Games account.
Into your account, exactly. So the trivia question is, how many copies of Squadron Hawk are in the finals?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We have Twin Blade mirror here, so obviously Call Blade plus Splinter Twin. How many copies of Squadron Hawk in the finals, in the 75, including sideboards, here at Star City Games Open Series Baltimore?
That's a good question. And this may be, the last tournament where Squadron Hawk sees extensive play.
That's right. I mean, we just saw some birds cracking into the red zone in Game 1.
We did.
It's definitely...
Mary Angel's one of those cards that I feel like hasn't gotten enough love over its duration.
It certainly hasn't.
In Standard, at least.
I mean, basically, turn 5, Emiria into fetch land. I mean, that's like kind of
Broodmate Dragon.
Siege Gang Commander-ish,
Yeah.
Broodmate Dragon-ish,
And it only gets worse from there.
Yeah.
With all the equipment around now.
Yeah, birds with swords has definitely been a scary thing over the past 4.5 months.
I really don't like birds.
No, not a fan.
Yeah.
What about Birds of Paradise?
Well, I like Birds of Paradise. I think that's really the only birds I really like, though. I mean, even in real life, people with pet birds, really,
I don't like ducks.
they want to be free. If you open a window, I'm pretty sure they'd fly away.
If you close, sometimes they fly into windows and just kill
And
themselves.
they kill themselves. Yeah, it happens to. I got a window cracked that way once.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
I
come
just
on,
saw
birds.
that happen on Lost. So
Property damage. Too much. And at the time, I was very young, so my younger brother was significantly younger than me, and the gore of the bird that had flown at a very high speed into our window, and it was like outside of our house. The gore was shiny because it was hot outside and it was very sunny. So my little brother was calling the bird Shiny. So we ended up naming it.
You named the dead bird.
We named the dead bird Shiny, and we buried it. Good times.
All right, so we're into game 2 here. Jason leads off with a Glacial Fortress. And Ali with the Celestial Colonnade.
Now, that's another advantage Ali has here. Both players can play at parity, but Ali has man lands in his deck. So if the game comes down to it, he can have that last angle of attack once both of them run out of juice.
But at the cost of potential speed here with, if he needs an untapped land and only has the colonnades, it's a little rough. Especially being on the draw. So, Jason has the turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, getting a Batterskull. Ali has a Dismember for that Stoneforge Mystic. So, again, a very scripted play. Turn 2 Stoneforge, eats a Dismember, or gets a Batterskull, eats a Dismember. It's becoming a very scripted thing here, but this will be the last weekend that script is followed, at least here in Standard.
And you just have to do that.
Yeah.
If you let the Stoneforge Mystic live, you're just facing down way too much pressure at a very early stage of the game.
Yeah, there's a reason that it's scripted that way. So, Jason follows his turn 2 Stoneforge with a turn 3 Stoneforge into a second copy of Batterskull. And does Ali have an answer this time? Oh, well, he has a Stoneforge of his own.
Now this is going to get a Batterskull.
So we've got battling Batterskulls.
We have to remember Jason has 2 Batterskulls, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That's one of the differences between these two players' main decks. I imagine post-sideboard, Ali probably sided in a second copy of Batterskull. So now they're both working with the same number. So Jason was able to untap with that Stoneforge Mystic. That's going to allow him to put this Batterskull into play. And Ali's hoping he'll be able to accomplish the same goal on the next turn.
Jason cracks his Scalding Tarn. What do you think? Just preordain, leave mana open to Violin the Batterskull?
I don't know. Ideally,
Dismember?
he wants to have a Dismember or a Lightning Bolt here.
And it looks like preordain.
All right, so
He's probably digging for a Dismember Bolt, because if he didn't use it here, probably means he doesn't have it. At least that'd be my guess. I think I see Consecrated Sphinx in his hand.
yeah, if he has the Dismember or Bolt here, he is very far ahead in this game. He's just going to run away with it. However, because he did not, Ali is in fine shape here.
So, forges in that Batterskull at the end of Ali's turn. Batterskull attacks, dropping Ali to 12, putting Jason up to 23. Second preordain from Jason.
You see what he put on top there?
I did not.
It may have been a land. It looked like a Terramorphic Expanse to me.
There's a Terramorphic Expanse there. So. You know what they call Terramorphic Expanse on Zendikar? They call it Evolving Wilds.
Evolving Wilds, yes.
Not Royale with cheese. Pulp Fiction reference. I don't know where that came from. So Ali has a Sword of Feast and Famine to fight that germ. That is spicy.
It's pretty nice.
Equipped to the germ. And now Jason is in some trouble if he can't answer that.
I don't think he can.
So attack with the germ. Was that a block and violin Batterskull, I think, there? I think that's what that was. Yeah, block, violin, Batterskull. So Jason has 2 germs and 2 batter skulls.
Ali pops up to 18 life there.
Yeah, Ali with just 1 germ, but sort of feast and famine, which can get really dangerous now because Jason only has black creatures in play. Ali, though, is tapped out, so Jason has a window to deal with that germ. Can't deal with
Jason
it with
has,
Dismember, though. With Dismember's not going to do it. He can't target it or deal with it, but...
Jace the Mind Sculptor would be
Jace
enough?
the Mind Sculptor
I believe
will
he
deal
does
with
have Jace the Mind Sculptor.
And that's exactly what we're going to see here.
Okay. And that's going to be huge. Now he bashes Ali down to 10 here.
Yeah,
and pops up to 31 himself.
Yeah. So Ali untaps.
He's probably going to equip this Sword of Feast and Famine. There's very small chance that Jason has a spell removal spell in hand. And even if he does, you have the Dispel and your land will untap anyway, so...
So
Do you want to return that battle spell to your hand first?
Kills Jace. So he does not choose to untap his lands.
Okay, I like that.
Batter Skull, Batter Skull. Dismember for one of them.
Yep. So he's going to go down to 2 here.
Yeah, basically he just saved Jason from... he didn't really save himself any...
He prevented Jason
from gaining life, right.
And he got a pretty big tempo advantage.
Just clarifying there.
Oh, Jason thought he killed him. He was like, sweet.
Into the Royal on the other germ, or Batter Skull.
And is Ali going to draw off that? I don't think he can. No.
Did he into the Royal to germ then? Yeah, I guess that makes sense, yeah.
And I believe Jason has a Consecrated Sphinx.
Yeah, I believe I saw that in his hand earlier. Yeah, there it is. So Jason follows up that, or at least adds to his board presence with the Consecrated Sphinx. He's got double Batter Skull and Consecrated Sphinx. Now the Batter Skulls don't have any germs at the moment, but still pretty scary. Or have the potential to be pretty scary.
I'll be surprised here if he just equipped the Batter Skull and attacked.
Yeah, so that looks like the plan. Equip Batter Skull to the Sword of the Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic now getting +6/+6, so putting Ali back up to 13.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping a blocker back, not necessarily for that Sphinx because the Sphinx is flying right over his head, but giving Ali a little more breathing room, and also now untapping his lands, giving him the opportunity to follow up with something maybe more impressive. Now it looks like he's got a Myria Angel in hand.
He also has a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, so maybe that's his plan. Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, he could Stoneforge Mystic for an equipment, vial it in with the first Stoneforge. I mean, if he wants to waste that much mana, he can... Well, no. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic... Oh, no, he goes with a Myria Angel anyway. I was thinking he could Mystic into some equipment, which he can vial in with the first Stoneforge, and then equip something to the second Stoneforge. But, yeah, he decides he wants to fight that Consecrated Sphinx, at least hold it off from actually doing damage. From actually doing damage, although the Consecrated Sphinx's damage usually comes in the form of drawn cards.
Yes.
And not necessarily its 4 power.
Well, he's actually at a somewhat precarious life total. We're taking some early Batter Skull beats.
Right.
That Jace from Jason was pretty backbreaking here.
So for anyone just joining us, we're watching the finals of the Star City Games Open Series here in Baltimore. This is the final standard showing for Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic. Jason Ford down a game versus Ali Aintrazi, but threatening pretty heavily with double Consecrated Sphinx and double Batterskull on his side of the board. Those Batterskulls not doing anything at the moment, but threatening to.
Ali just wins.
Scary. Yeah, is this
Consecrated Sphinx? Jason draws his whole deck.
Well, he doesn't. It's a May. He can stop.
Oh, it's May?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now this is something I haven't seen coverage of, but I've heard about. Now, what happens is both players can draw
as many cards
whatever
they want, right?
But what happens here is, I'm trying to think how this works, because if both players draw as many cards as they want on Jason's turn, Ali can draw into his combo, right? I mean, obviously he just draws the combo and has, because he'll have the mana untapped from attacking here, right?
Well,
no, he can
block.
Yeah, never mind. I'm thinking I'm thinking that Stoneforge is unblockable because of the pro black, but completely forgetting. Oh yeah, Consecrated Sphinx blocks too. So this is gonna get hairy, I think.
Yeah, Ali doesn't have a single red, so it's gonna take him a couple turns to use the other. This is somewhat silly.
It really is. So both players, again, can just draw as much as they want. So Jason draws his card for the turn. Ali draws 2 cards off of Consecrated Sphinx. Jason has the option to draw off of his 2 Consecrated Sphinx. He can draw 4 cards off of it.
Yeah. Then Ali can draw another 8 cards when he does that.
Yeah, it's just right. He can draw.
And then
exactly,
Jason
he can draw
can
8
drop to
cards.
16.
Right? Oh wow. Yeah, it's just like I
Ali
said, they can draw.
32.
They can draw their entire deck. But Jason gets to put a stop to some of these shenanigans with a Dismember and a Bolt for Ali's Sphinx. Ali did not get an opportunity to even refill his hand. So now resolving the triggers for his double Sphinxes. So I think he just drew 8 cards. About 1 trillion, may as well be, give or take.
This is absurd.
It really is. Now, Jason doesn't have any red mana, so he doesn't have Exarch anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't have Exarch yet?
Well, I just mean he doesn't have Exarch in play anyway, so it's not like he can combo off right now. It's something like I keep thinking, all they need is 7 mana to go Exarch Twin, and I'm like, wait, no, they need to have Exarch, then Twin. You know, you need the beginning. You need the Exarch in play.
The previous turn.
Yeah. For some reason, my brain does not want to accept the fact that they need to be played in separate turns. Shatter.
Ooh,
Shatter your Batterskull. So a Shatter Skull right there.
I like it.
I guess that's what Hammer of Ruin is, right? Shatter Skull.
At this point, Jason just has, too many cards. I don't see.
Yeah, I mean,
the way out of this. Yeah, and Ali understands. He sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah, wow, that was just really kind of brutal. He's like, you want to see my hand? All these. You want to see? Ali, no, I don't want to see your hand. I know, you had half your deck in your hand. You have 2 Consecrated Sphinxes.
I'm well aware of what you had in your hand.
It's like, I know it's in your deck. You had about half of that in your hand, so. Pretty nuts. So at the end of this match, we will be announcing the winner for the Star City Games Premium 1 year.
That's a long time.
It really is. Could you think back to 1 year ago? What were we even talking about? Okay, June. We were talking about. We may have known that these things called Titans were coming in M11. I don't know.
Oh, there was a lot of buzz, right? About
is Baneslayer coming back?
Yeah. Baneslayer came back.
we're losing Time Warp.
Oh, yeah, I was
You know?
so upset about losing Time Warp. Don't remind me that happens.
But have you seen the survival of the fittest on a stick? Fauna Shaman?
Oh, yeah, people thought that card was going to be like really, 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 really exciting.
And it's about $4 exciting right now. It's not it's a shame that it wasn't better. I mean, survival of the fittest, ban-worthy and legacy.
Yeah.
Fauna
Shaman, not so much.
Not even really
Yeah.
showing up very much. I mean, it's seeing play. And we have, birthing pod decks that are supplementing that plan with Fauna Shaman. And Fauna Shaman decks supplementing that plan with birthing pod, you know.
I'm excited to see what Birthing Pod has to offer in the new standard. Once people stop playing all this artifact removal, I could see that card doing some really interesting things.
Right. I mean, it's already made a little bit of a showing. In Denver, we saw a couple Naya Birthing Pod decks kind of doing some interesting things. And
like acidic sliming and things like that. I mean, you can go from acidic slime into Frost Titan. That's a really good line of play. Even Green Exarch is reasonable. Consecrated Sphinx.
People are going into, so very cool.
Getting Worm Coil Engines and sacrificing those so you can get Shieldred, the Whispering one. That's pretty exciting.
Shieldred, wow, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, just think back. If you had won a Star City Premium a year ago, you would have had Premium to read all the way through the fall and into the Caw-Blade era, and it would have been free, yeah. So, whoever wins this, at the end of your free premium, you'll be looking at people's opinions on M13 cards. What happens when we get to like M16?
Isn't
That's
it M12?
going to be a bomb of a set.
It's M12, right?
It can be a very explosive set, I think.
Oh yeah, they'll be looking at M13 though. You're right.
I'm thinking M13 a year from now, but I'm thinking a couple years from now, M16 just seems like it's going to have a lot of firepower.
I mean, I have no doubt about that at all. All right, Ali has the Stoneforge Mystic for the Batterskull on turn 2 here. It's ideal in this matchup. It's also getting started working toward that double red. That's really crucial if you want to have the combo plan here. J Ford, not the best turn 2 here. You don't really want to be preordaining turn 1 and 2 and not having an... Oh, so he does have a Dismember. That's important. Okay. So this game is still very real. If he didn't have the Dismember there, it would have been a very big problem.
It would have been, a little bit of a struggle. So Ali, turn 3, looks like, does he not have a blue source? He does not have a blue source. Does he not have a blue card in hand?
I don't know if he does.
I see Dismember, I think. There's a blue source.
All right, J Ford cracking a Scalding Tarn. Going to start working toward his ever-important double red. J Ford's mana cooperating much better than Ali's.
Deceiver Exarch from Ford.
Exarch comes down. Ali's going to target that with a Dismember? No, he's going to wait.
He's going to wait and make Jason waste a Splinter Twin if he's got it, which it appears that he would. Splinter Twin, do you have an answer?
Oh wow, so Ali's just haymakered him almost.
Yeah, boom. I mean, I like that though. I like that from Jason. He's just forcing Ali to have the answer.
Yeah, go for it.
That's it. Just like, if you don't have it, I win. And Batterskull from Ali.
Yeah. It's my 4/4 lifelink that I've left over from my Stoneforge from earlier.
Yeah, it'll gain him back that Dismember, the cost of that Dismember. Jason adds a Terramorphic expansion to the board, and I believe just passed. Now, I don't know what's in hand. I don't see another Splinter Twin. Didn't see another red card for Jason.
I think he has Mental Misstep in hand.
Interesting. Yeah, he does have 3 copies of Mental Misstep in the sideboard.
He also knows Ali has the Spell Pierces and the Dispels alongside his Preordained, so you're going to get some value out of those.
So both players playing very fast. I think Ali attacked Jason, went up to 18, and Jason went down to 10. And past the turn, Jason cracked his Terramorphic Expanse for an island, and now just plays a Glacial Fortress.
Yeah, the speed of these two players is very refreshing. All right, Jason, hitting all of his land drops, what you want to be doing in a control matchup like this.
Yeah, can we get a life total check real quick? Just
yeah, I believe it's 10-18 in favor of Ali at this point.
Although the speed they're playing, it may be, yeah, I was going to say it may be 6:22. I think two turns went by.
Okay.
Yeah, they played 2 turns in the span of about 7 seconds. But Jace the Mind Sculptor puts an end to the Batter Skull, or at least the Germ, right? Oh no, he just returns the Batter Skull to his hand. Gives him a one turn breather there from the Batter Skull beats. But Jason at a precarious 6. Although if he is able to draw into his combo, that 6 is irrelevant, and so is Ali's 22 if Ali can't answer it. So Lightning Bolt your Jace, Mental Misstep your Lightning Bolt.
Ooh.
Now there's a spicy legacy card seen playing
Spicy
standard.
meatball.
Ali plays a Stoneforge Mystic, and we're going to see another Batter Skull? No, Sword of Feast and Famine, yeah. I mean, he's got 1 Batter Skull in hand right now. Jason now has the Bolt. Ali does not have a misstep.
All right, Jason out of cards, but with that ever-important Jace the Mind Sculptor to refill his hand.
Yeah, so he
With
draws
that
his
fetch
card for the
land,
turn.
he
And,
can eventually, once he starts drawing cards that he doesn't want, he can put them back on the top of his deck and shuffle them away for more good action.
you know, he's keeping his hands pretty close to his chest there. Can't really see what he grabbed. But he did not play a land and passed the turn. Ali, yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, can't do that.
Hey, you don't have the blue mana to do that, bud.
So instead he preordains.
Bottom.
Oh, instant famine.
Cast Batter Skull, go.
Sword of Feast and Famine that he just grabbed off that Stoneforge. And passes back to Jason.
Huh.
I'm wondering what the plan is here. That sword does nothing with nothing to equip, you know? And we know he has Batter Skull, but you'd think he'd want Batter Skull first, you know? Play the Batter Skull, then play sword equip.
The Jace is just trying to bounce the Batter Skull. Maybe he figures there's another angle of attack
That's
here
true.
that's better.
But then again, that keeps Jason off of a Brainstorm, and when you're fighting
That's
a
what I was
combo deck, maybe you just don't want him to Brainstorm anymore. Jason was down to 0 cards at the beginning of last turn. Now he's drawing 2 a turn and getting the best off the top of his deck.
More non-blue lands for Ali.
Ali is cursed to struggle with that second blue source in this this top 8, it seems. But he did pull it out last time.
I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, so taps 5 for Batter Skull. Now he's just, forcing Jason to not Brainstorm here with Jace.
In 2 turns, this can kill a Jace.
It's really unfortunate that that Arid Mesa can't fetch Tundra in Standard. At least Ali's probably thinking something along those lines. So, bounced your Germ.
I mean, I'm sure he'd take a Hollowed Fountain.
Yeah, Hollowed Fountain works. What is it? Steam Vents he'll take, I'm sure. I think he'd take an Underground Sea at this point, too.
Alright.
Instead, he has to settle for Plains. But yeah, he did keep Jason from Brainstorming that turn. And that may just be his best chance of fighting that Jason until he can get his second blue. And does he have the second blue? I think that's it, yeah. It's coming into play tap, though.
It's just
Yeah.
A little dagger.
Yeah, especially because it also keeps him off of bounce my batter skull, replay it, and force Jason to bounce it again.
Attention players, this is the last call for registration for the Legacy Open. Please come up to the main of the stage if you'd like to register.
Here's a terramorphic expanse from Jason.
For the Legacy Open.
So at this point, we can be pretty confident that Jason's got some action in his hand. He's been chasing a bunch.
Yeah, he's brainstormed 3 times with that Jace, and he's got Jace batter skull preordained. We're here on the edge of our seats here. It's pretty tense here. We're tied a game each with a win here in the finals of Star City Open in Baltimore. Jason Ford versus Ali Aintrazi in a twin blade mirror match. Jason with an active Jace that has done a great job of refilling his hand. Ali with his second blue source just showing up last turn. And Jason adds batter skull to the board. With the bonus germ.
Dismember from Ali.
Dismember from Ali for the germ, and we have a dispel from Jason. Ali
That seems fine.
cannot deal with that
Ali,
dispel. Yeah. So Ali untaps.
Let it go. Ooh, that's a good draw step for Ali.
Yeah, Ali has Consecrated Sphinx, and I believe a Jace the Mind Sculptor in his hand. Maybe double Sphinx in his hand, in fact. I see an island, too. So he's got his blue source. It's just like earlier in the top 8 when he could not seem to find his second blue. It was, as soon as he found his second blue, he found his third blue.
Yeah.
So
They keep clumping.
Activates Colonnade, equips. That is a 6/6 Celestial Colonnade. Do you have an answer? That's it. He does not have an answer. Congratulations to Ali Aintrazi.
Is the champion.
Takes down Jason
Of
Ford
Star
with
City
Celestial
Standard
Colonnade, equipped with Sword of Feast and Famine. Not the way the Twin Blade deck typically wins, but what did you say earlier in this game?
Earlier in this game, I said, Ali Aintrazi has Celestial Colonnades in his deck, so that could give him an edge
So if
here.
it comes to that, he has that plan.
Yeah, and I mean,
And there it was.
when it comes down to it, both these decks have cards like Dismember. They're both playing like 3 copies after sideboard. They both have Taxian Probe. They're both pretty painful to themselves with all the fetch lands. Both decks play 8 copies of each fetch land. And you take a couple hits from a batter skull, and after you cast a Phyrexian spell or 2, you're at practically nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
And one sword hit on a flyer might just be enough to do you in.
so
We're gonna have Ali in the booth in a moment.
yeah, we're gonna get Ali in the booth in a minute. We're back. For those just joining us, you missed the finals. The final appearance of Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic in Standard just wrapped up with those 2 cards on top. I'm Joey Pasco,
And I'm Jacob Van Lunen.
and I have a question for you. I'm sorry, you seem to get something to say. I just have a question for you, though.
Oh, sure.
Who put
Go
the
ahead.
call in the call blade?
Kibler.
No, okay, sorry. What put the call in the call blade? What card put the call in call blade?
Squadron Hawk.
How many copies of Squadron Hawk were in the finals?
0.
0 copies of Squadron Hawk, and congratulations to Chris Casey88 on Twitter, who wins one year of free premium for StarCityGames.com. Yeah, no copies of Squadron Hawk. So Callblade did not win this tournament. Twin Blade. I mean, it was definitely a blade taking down Jay Ford
there were some swords.
Definitely some
Being picked
blades.
up by some Stoneforge Mystics.
And a different kind of call showed up in game 2 for Ali with the Emiria Angels. But pretty exciting. So we're going to go to break for just a moment.
Okay.
Sorry, it seems like you keep having something to say, and I keep cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
When we come back from break, JVL Solo will just say everything that I keep cutting him off. Just tune in just a couple minutes. We'll be right back. And I keep cutting you off.